Working. Looks like it's working. What's going on, everybody? Mic working all right? Can y'all hear me tonight? I'm on the road a little bit, so I got this set up just a few seconds ago. Hopefully it's working all right. All right, so looks like we're working. Everybody like it up, share it up. I'm here with the Bambino of Bass, RP Patel. What's going on, Tony? Whitney? How you guys doing tonight? Boom. Try to get my stuff here. You guys ain't very talkative yet. I guess we'll go ahead and talk about the events coming up this weekend real quick. August 5th, back to school, Apuka, Florida, this weekend. 2X hosted in Florida coming up this weekend. Looks like we got a show going down in Nashville, Tennessee this weekend, a 2X on Saturday. Looks like we got a show going down in Oklahoma, Tucking in the Valley, 2X hosted at the Choctaw Casino and Hotel. And it looks like we got the Grill and Chill show going in Grove City, Ohio this weekend. And then we have a show on Sunday in Nashville, it looks like. We'll let those guys run for a minute and get back over here to the chat. Y'all got any questions for us? You want to ask any questions to RP, rule questions, bass questions, sound pressure questions? What's going on, Kyle? What's going on, Mike Street? What's up, Steven? Everybody watching on the YouTube there, make sure you like and subscribe.
Rusty? What up, Rusty? Oh, wait, you got to tag him, don't you, for him to be on there?
Probably.
Yeah. Someone tag Rusty. I want to give him a shout out on his product that we ordered from him earlier last week. It's very good shit, so I'd love to be able to, very good stuff. I'd love to be able to say that to
him. We're learning, y'all.
We are. I'm sorry.
It's all good. How does it feel to be the loudest in the world? Stephen Thibodeau asks the Sultan of Sound Pressure.
Not really the loudest in the world yet. We could be, but it's always a struggle. We're always going up. It's never, there's no such thing as the loudest in the world, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. There's always someone out there louder, whether they've shown it or not.
There you go. That's your answer. Keep on working. Any other questions you guys got? I don't see my thumbs flying or nothing. I'm not very prepared for this when I'm on the road, so I don't know. Do we know those things? What's going on, Charlie Tent?
Ooh, he was just here on Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What you up to this evening, Charlie? You testing? You got questions? You got test questions? I got somebody with me might be able to help you.
Absolutely.
I think, Stephen, what he's trying to tell you is no matter how good you are, there's always somebody better sometimes.
That.
He's not necessarily saying he knows he's beat already. I think he's just saying that no matter what, when you're number one, you got a target, so you can't stop.
Fair. Good answer.
What's going on, Joe? Mr. Matt, how you doing tonight? What you guys up to this evening? What you got, Joe? You got a question? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you? You got things built? That's all you can do sometimes, Charlie, is bang your head on that wall. It'll break eventually. Joe said, ask RP how much for the testing spreadsheet. What's going on, Chris? Yeah, I think that's lost somewhere or something. Not for sale, I guess. Oh, he said he promised to send it to me 4 years ago.
Oh, shit.
Steven says he could make a killing. I might know somebody that has one that does the same thing.
You can do it on your calculator, on your cell phone. You got a smartphone, you can make it work off there.
Ben's got one, Joe. Did you learn anything banging your head on that wall, Charlie? Nobody sharing me today? That's bull. I'm going to get mad. He said, I learned I need to find another few tenths. That seems to be most people's thing. David says, RP, are you going to beat the 181?
With a 181.33 next show. It's in good faith. We want the MECA competitors in Africa to post some good numbers. I don't have to post my number higher than his to make him not work on his vehicle. I want to post a number just enough to where he goes home and says, I need an extra tenth for the next show. So that's what we're after. We want them to compete. So I will post a bigger number, just not a lot bigger.
Joe said he needs some DBs.
I think we all need some DBs. I could use some DBs. You guys all may think that I have plenty to give out, but I don't. I've got people right behind me, just like you guys have in your class too. So I'm looking for DBs also.
Always
looking for DBs.
I think that goes back to the first answer we gave. They said, give me a demo.
It will be playing music this year. So that's what I'm working on is music classes. So no more burp this year. I'm still rocking the same subs from last year, so they're a little more in. So we figured we'd do some music before I blow them all up.
I heard wax and fuses are the real gains.
That's funny.
What else you guys up to this evening? Yeah, everybody like it and share it. If you're watching out there in YouTube land, like and subscribe. I almost got my computer fixed, hopefully. I'll be able to start doing the YouTube thing again here shortly. Oh, y'all are funny. What's going on, Chance? How you doing tonight? Well, I guess if you guys ain't gonna ask no questions, what's going on, Chris? Bing? We're all just doing little people stuff, Tony. That's what I doing too. What you got anything good going on at the shop right now?
We are working on a bunch of boats. We are doing day-to-day business. We are trying to bring in new companies into the shop. That's about it. I haven't touched my van. We broke a couple things in it, so we're fixing it a little bit. Hank has been doing a lot of testing on entry-level $100 budget woofers. We started with the Sundown LCSs, then we moved over to Roger on the Crossfires, and now Dan Horner's E-Series. Soon, hopefully, we are going to try some DC audios from Rusty. But basically, we're just showing you what entry-level $100 subs can do. We're really showing you what a build can do. It's not the woofer, it's the build. So $100 woofer, $1,000 woofer, your numbers are within 2 or 3 dB.
Oh, that's actually a good question there, Joe. Let's see what Bing asked us here first. He said, is anybody else having issues with SS.7 coils turning into a slinky out of nowhere? I'm not 100% sure what he means by that, unless he means stainless steel.
Yes.
And
I'm assuming he's talking about compacts, stainless steel.
Which ones are we talking about? Anything specific there? I don't know. I've seen a lot of speakers turn into slinkies. I wouldn't necessarily always blame it on the coil, but sometimes, usually what it is the glue.
Amperage. Check your amperage. I have not had that issue. The only time I've ever slinkied a coil is when you either jump gap or your amperage is off the roof and you just heated that coil up that fast, that quick. I hear it a lot. A lot of people slinky coils, and it's different when you ask people like us, because we track amperage like it goes out of style. We don't even care what number the vehicle does. It's always about amperage. So if you don't track your amperage, that could be a big tell. Maybe you should start doing that, and that will tell you whether you just have a bad batch of coils or whether you just have a bad spot somewhere in your system that's dumping a bunch of amperage at a certain frequency, certain temperature.
Did y'all have your notebooks ready?
I don't mean to get in debt.
Oh, I was just making sure they was taking notes. I guess it's a good thing this is recorded, huh? All right, so we got that one done, it looks like. Let's see. Joe says, any good tips? I don't know. You might not get an answer on this one, but you might. Any good tips on how to use the DATs to refine how to build your speakers?
So I don't, I know I post a lot of stuff about the DATs, and truth be said, I really don't know much about it. I use a guy, he's out of Ohio. His name's Dominic, and he helps me out a lot on the DATs program. But point being, this is what I use it for. I build a woofer, I put it on the bench, I run the DATs program through it. It spits out a FS, a frequency that the subwoofer wants to play, or naturally that's what it's built for. Whether you use 2 spiders, 4 spiders, 8 spiders, it's going to spit out that different frequency. And then I take that information and build it. The first set of subwoofers, you're throwing a dart out there. You don't know what the van's going to do. I load them in the van. I then do it again with every woofer in its location, run the DATs program. The frequency the van at that point wants to play is what's going to show up on that screen. And then I find a happy medium between that and the woofer on the bench. So as of right now, just to give you a number, because I don't know anything more than this about it, DATs on my van is 73 hertz. DATs on my 10-inch woofer when I got done building it brand new on the bench is 109 FS. So what that means, I have no idea. That's about 30% more than what the van wants. Is that a trick? I have no idea. Does that help? Yeah, because the number's there. If I go less than that, if I get it closer to 73, does that mean the number's better? I don't know. I haven't got into that testing yet. A lot of you guys know that we do a lot of testing, but what you don't know is it takes a week to test one thing in this van. So I'm only 2 years into it. So I will get that information, just don't have it right now.
Oh, Charlie Tent says he's testing. Andy has his notebook out. The guy that asked us about stainless formers, he says, myself and another team member have had coil failures when other options have been more resilient, have not been checking amperage specifically, just power factor and rise. I would probably agree with RP's statement to keep an eye on your amperage, because just generally speaking, regardless of what the coil is wound on, if you heat it up too hot, the glue will let loose. And sometimes that might not necessarily burn through the coil, but it'll let the glue heat up enough to let it fall off the former. So the only way you should be heating your coil up that fast is going to be, usually too high of amperage, or you're into clipping on your amp, something like that. I would try to keep an eye on that and see if that's part of the issue. The only other thing I've seen is sometimes it's a glue thing, but usually I haven't really heard of that on stainless coils. Usually what I'm thinking of is going to be like a carbon or titanium deal. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. What?
Go ahead.
What?
It's out there. But yeah, to add to that, I would definitely check your amperage on your next hit. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a big hit. Pick a number, get an amperage reading, do your next volume click, get an amperage reading. But at the same time, try a couple of frequencies, lower and higher than that, and see if your amperage goes down. My guess is you're just dumping a lot of amperage into that stainless steel coil.
What's going on, James? Let's see. I'm catching up here a little bit. What's going on, Clifford? Jen, how you doing?
Hello, MECA people.
I guess we'll answer this question. Maybe I'll see if he'll answer. Yeah, I'm not going to give my opinion. What do you think about those new inhumane motors? I guess that's been the talk of the town, huh?
Has it?
I don't know. I see a lot of people talking about it or trying to rag it, but I mean, I don't personally. Hey, if it works, it works. I'm not an engineer, so
I mean, it's another motor. It's a 5-inch coil. I don't know much about it. I haven't even done any research on it. It is what it is, and it was the answer to having enough motor force to make a 5-inch coil work for music, basically, without being very inefficient. So that's the biggest issue. And I think a lot of you guys on there have always asked me this, even at my shows. Hey man, I got this, whatever brand it is, but it's a 4-inch coil. Will I gain going to a 3-inch coil? Absolutely, 100%, no questions asked. Going from a 4-inch coil to a 3-inch coil, you will gain if you are looking for the number. If you are looking to be able to turn it up and walk away at 3,000 watts on that woofer and just let it play, probably the 4-inch coil is going to last a little bit longer. But once again, if you want the number, go to a 3-inch coil. If you don't care about the number and you're a demo guy and you just want a straight beat on your vehicle, a 4-inch coil is great. A 5-inch coil might be even better with a little bit more motor force on it. But that's as far as I don't know much about that motor.
I don't either. I have seen a lot of people talking about it.
100 and
yeah,
it was 180 some pounds or something like that.
Yeah,
with the basket. Yeah, it's. I don't want to be caught loading those things. How about that?
Yeah, me neither.
NSV3s were heavy enough.
I had enough back in the day with the 100-pounders. That was good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. Will RP give demos to people, but not me this year?
Who's that?
Tony.
Oh.
Pasquale.
Well, I do demos.
he does demos. And I think we might already kind of had that question or something similar. Are we going to see a 180 pass sometime soon?
Probably not in the cards for this year, but definitely next year. Like I said, we're not going for the SPL anymore this year because we're going for the music right now. That's where the club's at. That's what everybody does, and I'm basing it off of my crowd. We host a show the last Sunday of every month here for MECA, and my crowd is the demo guys. They could care less if they did a 135 in the lanes, but if they were able to sit out across the street and demo on their vehicles for hours and hours and hours, that's what these guys are up for. So I'm gonna do some demoing this year. I'm gonna do some playing music, and it's gonna be on the same subs as last year, which I already know. You know, they're very, very stiff. They're 109 FS. They're not going to be very efficient. But the van is efficient enough to where I think it's going to overcome it. So I'm hoping, I as of right now on a burp, I can do an 80 on 5K total power. So that's 275 watts of sub. So if I can play music on 500 watts of woofer, does it still do an 80 with the door open? Let's hope so. The question is, who wants to sit in it? Because I don't.
Oh, I'm about to go to the store and get this watermelon. It wants to try
watermelon fruit. Watermelon. We've been discussing this. We're still waiting to. We're still debating on whether it's something I want to do or not. And
we better tape the bunch of plastic in there and hope it
cleaning
don't
it
blow
up.
off.
Cleaning it up is gonna be a nightmare. Like straight back. Oh my god! It's just I'm gonna have watermelon everywhere, like in every little just. Right now, I just don't want to do it, but I am going to eventually do it. Yes.
What's going on, Brad? How you doing tonight? Tony said he appreciates you competing and hosting shows.
I appreciate you guys coming. It's what it's all about.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot of people that don't like demos.
I'm going to have to agree.
But actually, you know what? I'm going to just go out on a limb here and blow y'all's mind since we're all thinking with free minds today. So everybody that competes or demos is a demo guy, because even if you're a burp guy, what you go into the lane and do is in fact a demonstration. It's a demonstration of how loud you are. So everybody's doing a demo, but that's just that's my opinion.
Mine's 3 seconds long and yours is 4 songs long.
Right.
Same concept though.
One can be a little bit funner than the other, I suppose.
Right. Depending on what market you're in, one can definitely be a lot more fun.
It just depends on which one you like, really. But I guess the moral to my story was everybody that's doing it's doing a demonstration of some sort. So unfortunately, it's in fact all demos. What's going on? Is it, hopefully I'm saying this right, Gani? Chris Petty said he'd sit in the van.
You're right. He'll be turning the knob. He ain't gonna sit in the van.
What else we got going on this evening?
You let other people turn your knob?
Nope.
I was gonna say since when?
Nope. I think there for a while, Hank, because I could never get my 5K dialed in. Like I am just horrible when it comes to like what Bud does, like in his scenario with the clamp classes. I can't do it. I just can't. I don't have the finesse for it. My hands are either.
I don't know about Bud, because he's like the most notorious unknown, and most known unknown.
Yeah.
And people don't quite understand how good he is at those clamps.
Well, between Hank and Bud is where I learned how to do clamp class. I can't. My hands are just one of those things where it's
all knobs to the right.
It's all knob. It's every single time. It's always all of it. I just cannot dial in that power. And it is what it is. But I started doing 5K testing in the van, and it's doing decent. I've never hit 5K on the dot ever. I won't even come close to it, but I try. We get the point across.
For sure. Got to keep the heat down for demo class. What else we got, guys? I know there's plenty of you out there that's got to have some questions. Nick Bowser said his demonstration has his meter 6 feet away. There you go. Oh, well, sorry to hear that, James. I'm glad you're getting better. We look forward to seeing what you got, man. Speedy recovery to you. So this guy says, you've done a great job on the van. Hopefully one day my extreme van can do over a 180. Small New Zealand. Cost an arm and a leg shipping woofers over.
New Zealand. Oof.
Tell them to reach out. We'd love to get some shows out there.
There you go.
Then you can show off your number.
I mean, some representatives out there.
That's the wrong show, Tony. They come on Monday. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's a question. What difference did you notice between the V1 and V2 compacts, specifically in soft parts and certain power they take across both motors?
All right, we'll start this one off because you're actually the first person that's ever asked. Who is it? Who asked?
This is Mike Street. He's a Michigan competitor from Michigan.
So nobody's really actually asked, but I will share this. When we did our very first finals, which was the Alabama, it was 184.5, I think, somewhere around there. I actually, in the van that whole year and at finals, had, let me see if I get this right. I had 9 V1 motors. I had 7 V2 motors, and the rest of the motors were all V2 prototypes. So none of the motors were even the exact same motor across the board. They were a different variants of V1 and V2s across the board. Did we gain when we went to the V3s? Obviously, it's a no-brainer. We did. But did we gain because there were better motors, or did we gain because we are now having the same motor across the board? I think me and you talked about that for the longest time. We don't even know the answer to that question. And as far as soft parts are concerned, I've shown all of my testing as far as 4 spider, 6 spider, 8 spider, 10 spider. We've shown the progress of where we've gotten throughout us building these subs. How I usually do that, because I've got 18 woofers, is I only do one. I build one sub, I put it in the enclosure, I tap it out, and then I cut it apart and build it again. We've gotten to 10 spiders right now. That's where we're currently sitting at. I'm going to hopefully next year try to do more to see if I can get some more gains out of it. But right now, there's a lot of other stuff that need fixed in the van, so I'm concentrating on that first. But that was a really good question.
All right. I see another one. I'm kind of catching up here. I'm still a little bit behind. So Steven asked, what was your first build that you competed with?
It was a CRX in Street A, I think, in 04. Very first setup, Hank helped me on. We took it to finals. We got 4th. We were so proud of 4th in the world. It was beyond us. We've never competed before. That was my very first show or comp that I went to, as far as World Finals is concerned. And we got 4th. Actually, I think it was 6th because we didn't get a trophy. I think we got 6th. But don't forget, back in 04, we are now talking about a finals that you had to You had to work to get into brackets.
Right.
You couldn't just show up and you were automatically given, okay, cool. There's only 4 people in my class. I'm guaranteed 4th place. We showed up and we were one of 16 people in my class. So we still had to fight to get to 6th place. Unfortunately, we weren't that knowledgeable back then, but the years have been nice to us. We test a lot, we keep pushing, and that's knowledge that you're never going to give up. You're always going to have the SPL knowledge once you learn it.
And then they asked, why is kicker on the side of the van?
When I bought the van originally from Chris Norris, it's an old school van. It's been in the lanes for years and years and years. He built it. He painted it. It's he had some stuff and he sold it. I bought it, and I just did not want to screw up the paint job on it. It's a really good. What's that?
Tell them about the other side of the paint job.
What's on the other side of the paint job? Oh, the tombstone. That's underneath the kicker. So, yeah, it's on the same side. We didn't want to change the kicker name off of it. And actually, I've seen pictures of this van with Crossfire on it too before, in the same spot.
Yeah,
I have seen it. It's been a while. But it's also got tombstones underneath the kicker, which is basically everybody that Chris Norris beat in the lanes. So anybody that he went up against that was a big boy competitor in his day, we're talking. You're going to have to tell me what 04s, 05s. I didn't know him back then. It was way before my time.
I remember seeing it. I want to say the last time I remember seeing him with it was around 07 or 08.
Okay. So once again,
but it was before that he started. But
before
that's the last time I remember seeing it.
So every time he went in the lanes and beat somebody, he put a tombstone on the van with their name on it. So that's something that we wanted to keep, because a lot of those competitors do not compete anymore. And we kind of wanted to keep that on there. So that's why it still says kicker on it.
So it's basically nostalgia.
Yes.
I was going to send a picture, but it's not letting me send
And Sam Dunn says, what is your favorite part of car audio?
I already answered that for you.
I'm going to have to say Sam Dunn. I'm going to answer your question with you. The day I get to see Sam Dunn, he calls on a Saturday and says, hey, I'm coming to Lafayette. No, I'm just playing, bro. I do love you, though. But car audio is just, to me, it's fun. And the day it stops being fun is the day you'll see me walk away from it. But when it's fun, it's fun. I look forward to the last Sunday of every month. Our MECA shows are huge, and these guys drive from Indianapolis to Lafayette. It's no joke. I mean, you're talking a Suburban full of subs and amps that barely does 65 miles per hour. You're driving 45 minutes to get to my show. I appreciate it. And I get that. We've got Michigan guys. We've got Ohio guys. Charlie Tint's on here. He's what, Michigan? Is that right?
He's
Illinois. Okay. So
we've got only Tint's, his twin brother from Michigan.
There you go. We've got lots of guys that drive here from a pretty far away. Actually, we had a few guys from Ohio, I think, this last show too. And it's the love of car audio. It's just having fun. And if you can't have fun, then I don't know what we're doing.
So Joe said, speaking on the van, 2004 IASICA Finals was the first time he ever saw it. It had Shocker Neo SIGs and Earthquake amps.
Ask him if it...
That sounds like our sport.
Does it still have the kicker emblem on it or the Crossfire emblem on it at that point? I remember seeing it with Crossfire at some point somewhere. I just don't know where.
Chris Petty asked us, are you going to add any names to the tombstones? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I don't think we're gonna screw up that paint job. As much as I want to add one for Alan Dante until I see him in the lanes and actually beat him in the lanes, it won't go on the van. No. To me, it's he doesn't get the opportunity to show his number at an actual event, and I will never get to compete with him side by side. So it's going to have to be a wash at this point. It's just going to have to be, this is what I can do, and this is what you can do.
This might not be.
Still motivates you too, though.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not old school like Alan Dante and all the other guys. They hide a lot of stuff. They hide their power. They hide their testing. They hide their vehicles. I have yet to see inside of his vehicle. I don't hide anything. I will tell you everything I do. I will tell you how I build my subs. I will show you pictures of the inside of my van. I will not hide anything, but I'm not taking that away from the old school competitors. That was great that you guys did that back in the day. But right now, if you don't show what you're doing in your vehicle, the rest of the public, the rest of the new generation isn't going to be interested in this stuff.
Right.
And the whole goal here is to get them interested. If not, then what are we doing? Why are we doing it?
Well, I mean, it'd be different if he just, was kind of like Joe Alt back in the day and had big blankets over his car. Then you could just pop up underneath it and say, "Hey, why you got some blankets over your stuff?" Kind of like Shannon would do. That's how I met Joe.
Joe
Alt, the head of SPL.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just I don't know.
It's crazy how much the game has changed in the States.
It really has. It has. But really at the same time, it is over here. It's a lot open, and I can tell you because I've been to Europe finals a couple times, and it's still that way over there. They hide their installs. They have blankets over their stuff. They do not show their stuff off. We have a lot of teammates over there, so we get to see a good chunk of their vehicles. But all in all, they're still in that same mentality, and unfortunately, I don't have to agree with their mentality to have them part of my team. So. I don't agree with it, but I will still support them. I wish they would change their mind and show their stuff off because it does interest everybody. Everybody wants to see an enclosure full of woofers and amps and what lithium you're using and, just everything in general. If it's something that catches their eye and they're like, "Ooh, I'm going to try this in my car," they may come back to you that next show and be like, "Bro, I tried that and it gained me a couple tenths. Can you help me dial it in?" Exactly. Why would you not want to be part of that community?
And that's how, we couldn't even, touching back on that, we couldn't see anybody's stuff when we first really got heavy back in 2007 when he got Rookie of the Year. And, it's like when we lost our judges in Kentucky, we were like, well, I guess we could be judges. And it's like, that'd be cool. And, we can see everybody's stuff and you can't keep me out of it. And so then we really got to learn, know, because you weren't keeping us out of nothing. But it has changed. I like it.
Learning is progress.
Yes.
So Joe said you asked about the van color, and Joe said the first time he saw it, it was neither. It was still the factory color.
Ooh, what color was the factory color? Because I don't even think I've ever seen it factory. Wait, I have. Was it yellow? I remember seeing a yellow. Honestly, it sounds like these guys know more about this van than I do. Because when we got it, we didn't know Chris Norris. Like what him, and you guys have seen him in the lanes. I've never seen him in the lanes.
Right. Looks like we do got another question maybe here. I'm trying to catch up. How important is the quality of RCA and speaker wire in your build?
I think in every build is pretty important. You need some good RCA.
I think there's a standard like. Don't buy the cheapest of the cheapest, but don't buy the $100 set of RCAs, maybe. And I'll elaborate on that. The very first time I put this van together, I used the company's RCAs. And even as a dealer, I had over, I think it was over $900 in just simple RCAs. Once again, we are talking 36 amplifiers. So RCA from amp to my DSP, from DSP to my bass knob. We got lots of different components going on here. I had a little over $900 in RCAs. And I tell you what, we turned it on the very first time. Actually, we didn't even do that. We gain matched. When we were done gain matching, I ripped every one of them out and they went straight to the trash can. You know what I put in there instead? Audio pipe. The cheap ones I sell on my showroom floor, they are $10 for a 3-foot or a 30-foot. There's a lot of you guys at the MECA show that come up here and ask for an RCA, and I give them to you. I don't even charge you for it because they are that cheap, and they have been the best that I have used so far. So you don't have to spend a ton of money on it, but don't buy your – I'm not going to throw any brands out there, but don't buy the cheap, RCA. But I will vouch for the audio pipes. In every one of my SPL vehicles, from the Panda to the van to the Fiorino, the Mazda truck, all audio pipe RCAs, period. And they're dirt cheap.
Let's see. Joe said he thinks it was off-white.
All right.
He thinks.
All right. I don't remember, but not me.
I believe that when we interest the younger guys, we spike competitors for tomorrow, and that's game. Keep doing your thing. I think a lot of us agree with that statement. That's a big part of the reason why I'm sitting here. All right, let's see. Well, some of them are going to be coming through. Some of them will be coming through YouTube, and some will be coming through Facebook. I don't know exactly how many people's watching where, but it is streaming to both. Usually, I know I can see both comments. I don't know if the guys on Facebook can or can't, but that might be part of the reason that you're not seeing all the comments there. So if you're out there in YouTube land, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Chris Petty loves his new build. What's going on, Hank, Kyle, Charles? Seeing the shop with everything backwards.
It's weird.
It is kind of weird. It's definitely kind of weird.
Oh.
Yeah. This is actually the first, what do you guys even call this? Podcast?
This is Bud Talk Laugh.
Bud Talk
BTL.
Laugh. But
Yeah.
Podcast.
Basically.
This is the only one I have been on since our van's built. Actually, since day one. Never. I have been asked for about 50 different ones, and I have not once been on any one of them except this one.
Oh, well, we
So this
love
one's
you
cool.
too, RP.
What's going on, Peach?
It's flying by tonight too. I'm like, man, we're running
Well,
out of time.
we're getting
Really?
some good, but we're getting some good
Yeah.
questions, and I think
Yeah,
sharing
great
some good
feedback.
information.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
We'll tag longer tonight if everybody's still.
Information is
willing to
knowledge.
start.
Ask away.
Yeah.
Who asked the about the sheets? Was it Kenneth? No, it wasn't Kenneth. It was
Joe.
Joe. There is a formula, and I'll rattle it off, and you can go back through it, and you can when I find it, I'll rattle it off, and then you can do your little magic and figure it out.
We was Chris. We was trying to put some shade on his boo boo. They're laughing at you because you're wearing a hat, and they ain't never seen you in a hat.
Not only a hat, but you got to read it. It says a lot about me and my shop.
Let's see. This guy asks, where can I buy a couple sets of speaker terminals for U series subs? Do you have those, or do you know a link or anything?
Sundown.
Yeah.
What is that thing on Sundown? The yard sale?
The yard sale?
Try the yard sale, bud. All right, Joe, here you go. Your score. And you have to do this on your calculator sideways with all the little. Can I show them that? Let me see. So your calculator on your phone needs to look like that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That way. All right. So you are going to be. Oh, I lost it. Oh, no, there it is. All right. So it's going to be your score minus 10 times. There's a log button. Hit the log. And then put your total wattage in. That will spit back a number. That is your efficiency number. You can put that in a chart however you want to put it in a chart. We choose to use voltage, amperage, rise. We add everything into it that we think we want in it. But you can customize it whichever way you want.
All right. Steven says, what pulled you into car audio? What did you see and say, I want to do that? I don't even know if I know that one.
It wasn't SPL. I'll give you that right off the bat. SPL had absolutely nothing to do with it. And honestly, if you want to blame SPL on this part of the shop, we're going to sum it up as Hank Veach. Before Hank Veach, this shop didn't even know what SPL was. We never even tried it. We never concentrated on it. We had no interest in it. But back to your original question, I don't know if I have an answer for that. I think it's one of those things where you try something and it just evolved. It snowballed into the love of something. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it at. Oh, Sam just sent me the picture. It is of the van with Crossfire on it. There you go.
Okay.
Huh.
That's the only time I've ever seen the van with Crossfire on it. Thank you, Sam, by the way. But other than that, I've always seen it with Kicker on it.
This guy, Dave Graham, he says, I like to say thanks for all the advice and help RP offers when you ask. He's an open book. He's A1.
CRV gang. Love it. He's a Rad X guy in CRV.
Okay.
It's extremed out like mine, but not extreme. He's like music.
Right.
This guy's doing some shit. Like he's doing.
Sweet.
I could fucks with that. I said fucks.
Peach, you would ask this question. Who drinks the most beer while working on the van?
We're going to blame that one on Kyle.
Kyle.
We're going to say
The
Kyle.
most, Red Stag, that'd be you.
Yeah.
Who drinks the most Morgan, that'd be Hank.
Definitely Hank. Yeah.
Oh, and he also loves the green apple.
I think he hates the green apple.
He loves green apple crown. So everybody, if you want to get Hank Beach a present, just get him green apple crown. He will love you for life.
Oof.
If he doesn't throw up on you. This guy's, you just cleared the 70s this past weekend. That's pretty good.
Awesome.
Pretty good accomplishment there. Congratulations, Dave.
That's
It's better than that beer, Kyle.
I'm pretty sure he's still on ZV5s in a CRV. That thing
pretty
gets
good.
down. It does. The first time I saw him was at the Sundown show last year, I believe.
Okay. What's going on, Milani? What are you up to tonight? What we got? We got any more questions coming in? ZV5s on 4 salt 6Ks. Well, that's a pretty healthy score there, Dave.
Oh, Chris Crane sent me pictures of the van too. Bunch of Crossfire amps. Or Fosgate amps. Didn't one of you guys say he was running Shocker and Fosgate?
I
Someone
think
said
he
that.
said Shocker and
Earthquake.
That's
Sounded
right.
like Garnet Explorer back in the day. Some SIGs and Earthquake.
Kyle said, what is your favorite class to watch?
Up until last year, I'm going to say it for this year. How about that? Because I got an answer for a different year. But this year, dueling demos. It has just intrigued the crap out of me. I don't know why, but something about the
Is there
something about that class is just, it's fun. It's yeah, and I'm gonna give her a shout out. She's probably not on here, but Melinda. She comes to every show.
Yes.
And she doesn't even have to be in the lanes for dueling demo. And she is out there. She is rocking some old school music. And I am a sucker for old school music. Just so you guys know.
Always watching too. She'd
When
love to
when
shout out.
when old school music comes up, I literally, that's all I listen to in my cars too. So Melinda for sure. But dueling demos has really taken off here. I don't know about the rest of your places, but here,
It has taken off everywhere.
you know, do you remember when you were here, you were doing them out front and it was like 2 or 3 cars?
Uh-huh.
Now they have to shift all the way across the street to the U-Haul building because there's so many of them.
Well, that's because, prior to us purchasing MECA in 2021 in November, doing demos was just like a head-to-head. I think you won just because there was no score, there was no.
And that's how I perceived it too.
And doing demos is something that we should be able to be proud of, and there should be a number involved in a way to learn to improve, just like the other classes. So
Agreed.
I've really enjoyed watching it grow. We've been watering it and it is blooming. I can tell you, Florida is just nuts with doing demos down there.
Even if you guys don't build something for that class, the next time you guys go to a show, you should at least spend and just look at that portion of the show. It really is.
Henry, I'm not going to say a whole lot about your comment there, but I agree with you. That would be a pretty cool idea. He said, I think it'd be cool if we track down a lot of the older SPL vehicles and put them up for sale, or even start a museum for them, like Arthur Shaker, Jimmy, if they still exist. I think it would be pretty cool. I remember just drooling over them in electronics magazines. That would be pretty neat. Mike Schnurr. He says, when can I get a music demo of the van?
Today.
When you show up at a show.
Today, bro.
Instead of going to the zoo. Hope you have fun.
Let's see. Okay. He says, I have been in the game since 2016. I haven't been here long. And for the most part in my area, they consider me to be an old school guy. I am not. What advice can you give to me to give these new competitors to really get them going in the lanes?
Oh, good question. That's our New Mexico judge, Steven Thibodeau?
Yep.
Awesome. That's a good question.
That is a really good question.
Hard one to answer. But I think having the consistency as a MECA judge, you know, sticking to the black and white rule book is key. And promotions, you know, if you stay consistent and keep pushing your events and show up, you know, when you say you're going to do something, you do it, and the competitors will see that and respect that and follow you when they see it and feel that you're never going to leave them because you're not, then they're going to jump on board and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I need help.
I just got flied. I think that I really think what he's asking is how to help them become more competitive or get them more interested. And I mean, I don't know about RP or what his answer might be, but I think that's an age-old question. And unfortunately, like when it comes to the hardcore part of the contest, my best advice is you teach them, you know, keep their eyes and ears open and, you know, keep learning. And it doesn't never stop. You know, try to get advice where you can get it. But at the end of the day, if there was a secret or a magic trick, I think, you know, me and RP or somebody out here would be willing to share it. But the real magic trick is basically hard work and dedication. And that's hard for a lot of people to grasp once they really get going. So, you know, basically my best advice to new people is keep your head up. Don't be ashamed of what you're doing. Hell, the first show I went to, I was doing 142s, you know, and I thought I was the stuff. So that's kind of my answer to that.
I think my answer is going to be more of on the competitor side, more than, you know, what you guys had to add, which is great. But as a competitor on the competitor side, I'm going to say, if you can show them progress, show them what they're doing, show them what it takes to add to it. Let me give you an example. Let's say they're doing a 140. How much effort is it going to take you to show them that they can do a 141 just like that? Put some tape on his vents. I'm not saying this may or may not be legal in whatever class you're trying to compete in. I'm saying there is stuff that, you know, inside of a vehicle that you can do, like move your visors. Show him that moving and shifting things inside of your box/vehicle is going to change that score. And that's the name of the game here, is getting the highest score. So everything you try, whether it's dumb and you don't want to try it, because that's what SPL is. It is dumb. It takes the dumbest thing to make an SPL number. It's not logic. So that's my advice.
Quit telling them the real secret.
He also touched base on the headrest hurting feelings and discouraging people. But what I let them know is We do have the kit class, but at the end of the day, with MECA, our goal is for everything to be pretty much as realistic as possible and lively, and in SQ and sound pressure and doing demos and um, uh, when you're getting a demo, for example, and someone says, "Oh, I got a demo of a 150 car." If it's only doing a 150 in the kit or at the window, it's probably realistically to your ear sitting in that seat. Your 50 at the X class is not going to be a 50 at your ear, even if the meter's still telling you that in your kick panel or on your dash. But at the end of the day, it's realistic. Same thing with park and pound. It's very realistic. It's what you're actually hearing. Anybody could basically put a meter in a cavity somewhere and burp it and get a crazy number. But if you can get a crazy number at the headrest, you're doing something right.
I mean, I think that it's just if you're used to one way or the other, it can be a learning curve. But I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you that you can do just as good or better at the headrest it's just a different scenario. And I guess that's where it goes back to SPL is stupid.
Fun. Stupid.
And this guy says, "What is your best World Finals weekend moment ever?" And he said, "I think it's hanging out with you and Hank at 2019 Worlds and watching Steve Mick dance." And that's Peach.
Yeah, I would agree.
He said he agrees with you, Peach.
I would agree. Definitely.
I agree with that, Kyle. Just encourage everybody and show them what you know. And if you have questions you need to elaborate on, I think we got plenty of people that can get you guys going.
I think Steven's doing everything right out there, though.
What state is that?
What's going on, Sean?
Steven, what state?
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Catching up here. Trying to, anyways. As Sam Dunn said, his favorite memory of finals was puking out your window of the van going down the highway.
It's because he drank moonshine from that Travis guy, I think, or the JY Power guy. He got moonshine from him, and he was just rad. He was perfectly fine. You looked away, you looked back at him, and he was done. Done. Sam done.
All right, guys. We're coming down to the end of the hour here. It looks like my computer's about to run out of power, too. So if you got questions, ask them now. We'll stay on a couple extra minutes. If you got some good questions, we'll answer them. But I appreciate everybody for coming on, liking us, and sharing us. I appreciate RP Soundcheck coming on here and talking with us, sharing some of his knowledge and thoughts on what we do here in the sound pressure game. E85, what's going on, Tom? How you doing tonight, buddy? It doesn't look like I'm getting any more questions coming through here. So again, I got one more. He says, compact Neos need a big box or a small box?
Motor touching backplate, SPL.
There you go.
Put that motor on the backplate on an SPL application.
How do you pick a vehicle to do SPL in? Oh, here we go. Bust out the tape measures.
Give them the results and see whose cars are the loudest.
No, not always.
B-pillar Ford determines it for me. I can't explain it. I just look at it and know it's either going to be loud or it's not going to be loud.
Okay, I think maybe they're like. So, do you look for flatter windshields, deeper?
In a nutshell.
consoles?
In a nutshell.
Help them out a little bit.
If you're going to build a wall, you're looking for the
What is
shortest.
a wall?
if you're going to build a wall, a classified wall for MECA, you're going to be looking for the shortest distance from the B pillar to the sensor. Do you feel different about that?
Nope.
So basically, a vehicle that has short doors.
Very short doors.
In street vehicles, my experience, especially with our vehicles here in the United States, is if you're using an SUV, you want 4 doors. I don't know the rhyme or reason to that, but 4 doors, in my experience, have always been louder than the 2-door vehicle counterparts that I've worked on.
Is it because of frequency?
Maybe
the B pillar area
longer?
is bigger
Right.
than 2 doors versus 4 doors.
Well, generally that is also a part of it. 4-door vehicles usually have shorter doors also.
They do.
So yes.
I don't know much about street class, so I can't elaborate on that.
Short dash is good.
Short dash is good.
Obviously I do like flatter windows, but I don't know.
Flat.
I think flat helps
White
personally.
roofs help keep the deadener on and keep the down.
Extreme vehicles. You didn't ask about the extreme.
What's
vehicles.
going on, Lodi?
Extreme vehicles.
Gotti.
People aren't doing
The
extreme,
vehicle
though.
you're picking for extreme is the one that's the tallest above the windshield.
Oh,
There you go. There's a secret that nobody else is ever going to tell you. You build above the windshield, and the numbers will fall. All of them. Every last one of them.
All of them.
Everyone.
All right, guys. I've enjoyed talking to you. RP, thanks again.
Anytime.
I think we got some good information out there tonight. I appreciate everybody watching. I think we got 5 or 6 events that I talked about earlier in the video. You can go back and catch up on them. And again, it looks like we're going a couple more questions coming through. Let's see. What classes would a C pillar be good in your opinion? Park and pound. Dueling demos. I mean, I've seen a few get loud, at SPL too, but I generally think that C pillars and no walls that's my secret, I guess. C pillars and no walls tend to do a little bit better in park and pound, because if you imagine that your vehicle is a part of your box, which in all technicalities, you should probably always look at it that way. But if you can open both doors instead of one door, you have more port area to play with. So generally speaking, in park and pound vehicles that you can get more opening facing the meter, you'll tend to find better results that way. Sam said, how many feet tall are you? Nick Bowser asks, is a quarter wave considered when designing an enclosure?
I used it when I did my flat wall in the Super Street 1-2, the Caravan. I don't know how to use it in a 4th order, so I'm going to say no. I don't know. Physically, I don't know the answer to that one. But as far as flat wall, it worked.
I think
it worked what I needed.
I think I could give an answer, and the answer is it's a very excellent place to start. It's not always the law, because we're going to come back to sound pressure is stupid. But it's generally a very good place to start. How about that's my best answer for that, because I have messed with it quite a bit when I was a lot younger.
I swore by it in the 1-2 van in a flat wall.
And common chamber or individual chambers?
I am individual in my van. I don't have enough testing to tell you common chamber is better. I do know if you blow one thing up, you'll blow everything up. So take that the way you want to take it. I don't know. I didn't do enough testing on it. See, I'm not as knowledgeable as you guys think I am. I really haven't tested a lot of stuff. I just know what works for me, and that's what I stick to.
I could give a general rule of thumb on that, but again, we're just going to keep coming back to it. It's not, sometimes you learn things and it's not always that way. So you have to be a kind of an outside the box thinker, or, just because you learn something in one car or one build doesn't necessarily mean it's law for every time you touch a car. So in my experience isn't 18 woofers in an extreme van, obviously, but in my experience, common chamber boxes are going to be a little bit louder for you until you start to maybe get to a power threshold. And then I think the individual chambers tend to help you hold your speakers together.
This is a phase thing.
Are we kind of
touching on it? Okay, so yes, that's kind of where I was going with it too.
So I think that can be. It depends on the goal of your build. What my answer would actually be. And there we go. So I think that's going to be it for the night. Again, guys, I appreciate all of you for coming on. My computer's getting really low here. Like and share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We got 6 events going on this weekend. Make sure you visit mecacaraudio.com to get the rest of the event schedule there. And thanks, RP. Sound check. And until next time, keep it loud and clear, Mecha heads.